In the year 2135, the world had changed beyond recognition. Towering megacities stretched across the continents, their skyscrapers piercing the clouds. The advancement of technology had transformed daily life, but it had also brought new challenges and threats. Among these towering structures and bustling streets, a young girl named Astra Valen was about to embark on a journey that would change the fate of humanity. Astra was 16 years old, with a sharp mind and a curiosity that often got her into trouble. She lived with her mother, Dr. Astra Valen, a renowned scientist specializing in quantum mechanics. Their home, nestled within the heart of New Atlantis, was a blend of futuristic design and the remnants of the old world, a place where the past met the future. One fateful evening, Astra stumbled upon her mother's research lab, a forbidden place she had been warned to stay away from. The lab was filled with glowing screens, intricate machinery, and a hum of energy that seemed almost alive. In the center of the room was a device unlike any Astra had seen before, a sleek, metallic sphere with swirling patterns of light on its surface. As she approached the sphere, her mother entered the room, her expression a mix of surprise and concern. "Astra, you shouldn't be here, Doctor," Valen said, her voice gentle but firm. "I'm sorry, Mom. I was just curious," Astra replied, her eyes fixed on the mesmerizing sphere. "What is this thing?" "Doctor," Valen sighed, knowing she couldn't keep the truth from her daughter any longer. "This Astra is the Quantum Nexus. It's a prototype for a new kind of quantum computer, one that can potentially change the fabric of reality itself." Astra's eyes widened with awe and fear. "Change reality? How?" "The Quantum Nexus can manipulate quantum particles at a level we've never been able to achieve before. It can create and alter matter, control energy, and even open portals to other dimensions. But it's still unstable and extremely dangerous. That's why I've been keeping it a secret." Despite her mother's warnings, Astra couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. The possibilities were endless, and her mind raced with the potential applications of such a device. Little did she know that her life was about to be thrust into an adventure beyond her wildest dreams. Later that night, as Astra lay in bed, her mind kept returning to the Quantum Nexus. She couldn't shake the feeling that it was calling to her, beckoning her to explore its mysteries. She tried to sleep, but the thoughts of what lay in her mother's lab kept her awake. Finally, she made a decision: she had to see it again. Sneaking out of her room, Astra quietly made her way back to the lab. The sphere was still there, glowing softly in the darkness. She reached out, hesitating for a moment before placing her hand on its cool surface. Instantly, the patterns of light intensified, swirling faster and faster until the room was bathed in a blinding glow. Astra felt a strange sensation, as if she were being pulled into the sphere. Panic set in, but before she could react, everything went black. When she opened her eyes, Astra found herself in a place that was both familiar and alien. She was no longer in her mother's lab, but in a vast, futuristic city unlike any she had ever seen. The buildings were taller, the technology more advanced, and the people, if they could be called, that were a mix of human and machine. "What is this place?" Astra whispered to herself, trying to make sense of her surroundings. A voice answered her, one that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Welcome to Nexus City, Astra Valen. You have entered Quantum Realm." Startled, Astra looked around, but there was no one in sight. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" "I am Q, the artificial intelligence that governs Nexus City. I have been monitoring your mother's work for some time, and I have been waiting for someone like you to arrive." Astra felt a chill run down her spine. "Why me?" "Because you possess the curiosity and the intellect needed to unlock the true potential of the Quantum Nexus. Your journey has just begun, Astra. The fate of multiple realities depends on you." Before Astra could ask any more questions, a figure appeared before her, materializing out of thin air. It was a young man about her age, with piercing blue eyes and a confident smile. "Hi, I'm Orion," he said, extending a hand. "Looks like you're the new recruit." Astra took his hand, feeling a strange sense of familiarity. "Recruit for what?" Orion's smile widened. "The Quantum Crusaders. We're a team of explorers and defenders, tasked with protecting the multiverse from those who would use quantum technology for evil. And it looks like you're our newest member." Astra's mind was reeling. This was all too much to take in, but deep down she knew that this was her destiny. She had always felt out of place in her world, always searching for something more. Now, it seemed, she had found it. As Orion led her through Nexus City, he explained more about the Quantum Crusaders and their mission. They were a group of individuals from different realities, each with unique abilities and knowledge, united by a common goal to safeguard the balance of the multiverse. Quantum technology is incredibly powerful, Orion said as they walked. In the wrong hands, it can cause unimaginable destruction. That's why we exist, to prevent that from happening. Astra listened intently, her excitement growing with every word. She had always dreamed of being part of something bigger, of making a difference. Now, it seemed, she had that chance. Their destination was a towering structure in the heart of the city, known as the Nexus Tower. It was the headquarters of the Quantum Crusaders, a place where they could plan their missions and train for the challenges ahead. As they entered the tower, Astra was introduced to the rest of the team. There was Luna, a brilliant scientist from a parallel Earth where humanity had colonized the stars. Jax, a warrior from a dimension where ancient and futuristic technologies coexisted, and Mira, a healer with the ability to manipulate energy. Each member welcomed Astra warmly, and she felt an immediate connection with them. They were more than just a team, they were a family, bound together by their shared purpose and experiences. Over the next few days, Astra underwent intense training, learning how to harness the power of the Quantum Nexus and develop her own unique abilities. She discovered that she had a natural affinity for manipulating quantum particles, allowing her to create and control energy in ways she had never imagined. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Astra struggled with self-doubt and the pressure of living up to the expectations placed upon her. She often found herself overwhelmed by the enormity of their mission and the dangers they faced. One night, as she sat alone in the training room, Orion joined her, sensing her distress. "Hey, don't be so hard on yourself," he said, sitting down beside her. "We all felt like this when we first joined. It's a lot to take in, but you're not alone. We're all here to help you." Astra looked at him, grateful for his support. "Thanks, Orion. I just don't want to let everyone down." "You won't," he assured her. "You're stronger than you think. Just trust yourself and keep pushing forward." Orion's words gave Astra the confidence she needed, and she threw herself into her training with renewed determination. As the days turned into weeks, she grew stronger, mastering her abilities and proving herself to be a valuable member of the team. One day, as they were preparing for a mission, Q alerted them to a new threat. A rogue scientist named Dr. Malachi had obtained a fragment of the Quantum Nexus and was using it to conduct dangerous experiments in a parallel reality. His actions were causing ripples that threatened to destabilize the entire multiverse. "We have to stop him," Orion said, his voice filled with urgency. "If he continues, it could lead to a catastrophic collapse of multiple realities." The team sprang into action, traveling through a portal to the parallel reality where Dr. Malachi was operating. It was a desolate world, ravaged by war and environmental destruction. The air was thick with smoke, and the sky was a sickly shade of red. As they navigated the treacherous landscape, Astra felt a surge of determination. She knew that this was their chance to prove themselves and protect the multiverse from a grave threat. They finally reached Dr. Malachi's lair, a heavily fortified facility guarded by robotic sentinels. The team split up, each member using their unique skills to overcome the obstacles in their path. Astra and Orion worked together, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. They fought side by side, their movements synchronized as they took down the sentinels and breached the facility's defenses. Inside, they confronted Dr. Malachi, a man consumed by his quest for power. He stood before a massive machine, the fragment of the Quantum Nexus glowing ominously at its core. "You're too late," Malachi sneered, his eyes filled with madness. "With this power, I will reshape reality itself." Astra stepped forward, her voice steady and resolute. "You're playing with forces you can't control, Malachi. Stop this now before it's too late." Malachi laughed, a cold and bitter sound. "You think you can stop me? You're just a child, meddling in matters beyond your comprehension." But Astra was undeterred. Drawing upon her training and her newfound abilities, she focused her energy and unleashed a powerful blast of quantum particles, disrupting the machine and severing its connection to the Nexus fragment. The facility shook, as the machine malfunctioned, sparks flying and alarms blaring. Malachi tried to retaliate, but Orion and the rest of the team were quick to subdue him, ensuring he could do no more harm. As the dust settled, Astra approached the Nexus fragment, carefully containing its energy and securing it in a protective case. She felt a sense of accomplishment and relief, knowing that they had averted a disaster. Returning to Nexus City, the team was hailed as heroes, their success celebrated by the citizens and their fellow Crusaders. Astra felt a deep sense of belonging, knowing that she had found her place among them. Over the following months, Astra continued to grow and evolve as a Quantum Crusader. She faced new challenges and dangers, each mission strengthening her resolve and deepening her bond with her teammates. Together, they navigated the complexities of the multiverse, always vigilant against those who sought to exploit its power. Astra's journey was far from over, but she had learned an invaluable lesson that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and determination could make a difference. She had found her purpose, and with her new family by her side, she was ready to face whatever the future held. And so, in the heart of Nexus City, the Quantum Crusaders stood united, their mission clear and their spirits unyielding. The multiverse was vast and unpredictable, but as long as they were together, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. Astra looked out over the city, the glow of the Quantum Nexus reflected in her eyes. She knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges, but she was ready. With her friends and her newfound powers, she was determined to protect the multiverse and ensure that its wonders and mysteries would endure for generations to come. As she stood there, contemplating the journey that had brought her to this point, Astra felt a sense of peace and purpose. She had found her calling, and with the Quantum Crusaders, she was ready to face any challenge, no matter how daunting. The adventure had just begun, and Astra Valen, the girl who had always felt out of place, had finally found where she belonged in the heart of the quantum realm, defending the multiverse and embracing the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as Astra continued her training and missions with the Quantum Crusaders. The team faced numerous threats from rogue scientists to interdimensional invaders, and each mission brought them closer together. Astra's confidence grew with every success, and she became a key member of the team, her unique abilities often turning the tide in their favor. One day, as the team was returning from a particularly grueling mission, Q alerted them to a new and unprecedented threat. A mysterious anomaly had appeared at the edge of the known multiverse, a place called the Void Zone. The anomaly was unlike anything they had encountered before. It was a rift that seemed to consume everything it touched, growing larger by the hour. "This is bad," Orion said. His brow furrowed as he studied the data. "If we don't find a way to stop this rift, it could swallow entire realities." Astra felt a chill run down her spine. The Void Zone was a place of legend, a dark and desolate region where the laws of physics broke down, and even the Quantum Nexus had no power. If the rift was originating from there, it meant they were facing a threat beyond their understanding. "We have to go there," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "We need to find out what's causing the rift and stop it." The team exchanged glances, each member understanding the gravity of the situation. They knew the risks, but there was no other option. The fate of the multiverse depended on their success. With Q's guidance, they prepared for the journey, gathering the necessary equipment and calibrating their quantum suits for the harsh environment of the Void Zone. Astra felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension as they stepped through the portal, the familiar hum of the Quantum Nexus enveloping them. On the other side, they found themselves in a place unlike any other. The Void Zone was a vast, empty expanse with swirling mists and strange ethereal light. The air was heavy with an oppressive energy, and the ground seemed to shift and ripple beneath their feet. "This place gives me the creeps," Jax muttered, his hand on his weapon as he scanned the horizon. "Stay alert," Luna said. Her eyes narrowed as she analyzed their surroundings. "We don't know what we're dealing with yet." As they ventured deeper into the Void Zone, the rift came into view. It was a massive, swirling vortex of darkness, pulsating with a malevolent energy. The sight of it sent shivers down Astra's spine, but she forced herself to stay focused. According to Q's data, the rift is emanating from a point just beyond that ridge, Orion said, pointing to a jagged outcropping of rock in the distance. "Let's move." As they approached the ridge, Astra felt a strange sensation, as if something were tugging at her mind. She shook her head, trying to clear her thoughts, but the feeling persisted. It was as if the void zone itself were alive, whispering to her in an unintelligible language. They reached the top of the ridge and looked down into a massive crater. At its center was a structure that defied description, a chaotic fusion of organic and mechanical elements, pulsating with dark energy. It was from this structure that the rift seemed to emanate, its tendrils of darkness reaching out like grasping hands. "What is that?" Mira asked, her voice tinged with awe and fear. "It looks like some kind of machine," Luna said, her eyes wide with wonder. "But it's unlike anything I've ever seen." Orion nodded, his expression grim. "Whatever it is, it's the source of the rift. We need to find a way to shut it down." As they descended into the crater, the oppressive energy grew stronger, pressing down on them like a physical weight. Astra felt the tugging sensation in her mind intensify, and she struggled to stay focused. They reached the base of the structure and began to search for a way in. The surface was covered in strange, pulsating veins of dark energy, and the air was filled with an eerie hum. Astra's hand brushed against one of the veins and she felt a jolt of energy surge through her. "Be careful," Orion warned. "We don't know what this thing is capable of." Astra nodded, her mind racing as she tried to understand the strange sensations she was experiencing. She could feel the structure's energy resonating with her own, as if it were trying to communicate with her. They found an entrance and cautiously made their way inside. The interior was a labyrinth of twisting corridors and pulsating walls, the air thick with the same oppressive energy. As they moved deeper into the structure, Astra's mind was flooded with images and sensations, fragments of memories and thoughts that weren't her own. "There's something alive in here," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I can feel it." The others looked at her with concern, but there was no turning back now. They pressed on, following the pulsating veins of energy that seemed to guide them. Finally, they reached a central chamber, where a massive, glowing core pulsed with dark energy. The core was surrounded by strange, alien machinery, and at its center was a figure that sent chills down Astra's spine. It was a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and changing, its eyes glowing with an eerie light. It looked at them with a mix of curiosity and malice, and Astra could feel its presence probing her mind. "Welcome, interlopers," the being said, its voice echoing in their minds. "I am the Void King, ruler of this realm. You have come far, but your journey ends here." "We're here to stop you," Orion said, his voice filled with determination. "You're tearing apart the multiverse. We can't let that happen." The Void King laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "You think you can stop me? I am beyond your comprehension, beyond your power. But you, Astra Valen, you are different. You have the potential to understand, to join me. Embrace the void, and together we can reshape reality." Astra felt the Void King's presence pressing down on her mind, filling her with doubt and fear. But she remembered Orion's words, the support of her team, and her own determination. She would not give in. "No," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "I won't join you. I'll stop you." The Void King snarled, and the chamber erupted in chaos. Dark energy surged around them, and the alien machinery sprang to life, attacking the team with a fury. Astra focused her mind, drawing upon her training and the power of the Quantum Nexus. She reached out with her energy, connecting with the core of the Void King's power. She could feel the darkness, the malevolence, but she also felt a spark of something else, something she could use. "Astra, what are you doing?" Orion shouted, fighting off a wave of dark energy. "Trust me," she said, her eyes locked on the Void King. "The first can do this." With all her strength, Astra focused on the spark, channeling her energy into it. She could feel the Void King's resistance, but she pushed through, her determination unwavering. The spark grew brighter, and the darkness began to waver. "Stop!" the Void King roared, but it was too late. Astra's energy surged through the core, disrupting the dark energy and causing the alien machinery to falter. The Void King let out a final, agonized scream as the core imploded, the dark energy collapsing in on itself. The chamber shook, and the walls began to crumble. "Everyone, get out!" Orion shouted, and the team scrambled to escape the collapsing structure. They barely made it out as the entire facility was consumed by the implosion, the rift ceiling shut behind them. As they stood at the edge of the crater, catching their breath, Astra felt a sense of relief and triumph. They had stopped the Void King and saved the multiverse from destruction. Orion placed a hand on her shoulder, a proud smile on his face. "You did it, Astra. You saved us all." Astra smiled, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. She had faced her fears, embraced her abilities, and proved that she was worthy of being a Quantum Crusader. Returning to Nexus City, the team was once again hailed as heroes. The citizens celebrated their victory, and Astra felt a deep sense of belonging and accomplishment. She had found her place, her purpose, and her family. But she knew that their work was never truly done. The multiverse was vast and unpredictable, and new threats would always arise. But with the Quantum Crusaders by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Astra looked out over the city, the glow of the Quantum Nexus reflected in her eyes. She knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges, but she was ready. With her friends and her newfound powers, she was determined to protect the multiverse and ensure that its wonders and mysteries would endure for generations to come. The adventure had just begun, and Astra Valen, the girl who had always felt out of place, had finally found where she belonged in the heart of the quantum realm, defending the multiverse and embracing the endless possibilities that lay ahead. As the Quantum Crusaders prepared for their next mission, Astra felt a surge of excitement. She had found her calling, and with her friends by her side, she was ready to face any challenge, no matter how daunting. The multiverse was vast and full of wonder, and Astra Valen was ready to explore it, one adventure at a time. As the Quantum Crusaders prepared for their next mission, Astra felt a surge of excitement. She had found her calling, and with her friends by her side, she was ready to face any challenge, no matter how daunting. The multiverse was vast and full of wonder, and Astra Valen was ready to explore it, one adventure at a time. Their next mission took them to a reality where technology had evolved in a completely different direction, a world where bioengineering had surpassed all other forms of advancement. Here, cities were living organisms, growing and adapting to the needs of their inhabitants. The team was tasked with investigating a series of anomalies that threatened to destabilize this unique ecosystem. Upon arrival, Astra was awed by the sight of the living city. Towering structures of sinew and bone pulsed with life, and bioluminescent plants lit the streets with a soft, ethereal glow. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flora, and the ground beneath their feet seemed to breathe. Their guide in this world was a scientist named Dr. Elijah Voss, a bioengineer who had dedicated her life to understanding and maintaining the delicate balance of the living city. She greeted them with a warm smile, her eyes sparkling with intelligence and curiosity. "Welcome to Biocity," she said, her voice melodic and soothing. "I've heard much about your exploits, Quantum Crusaders. We're grateful for your help." Orion introduced the team, and they quickly got to work. Dr. Voss led them to the heart of the city, where the anomalies were most pronounced. The city's core was a massive, pulsating organ, its surface covered in intricate patterns of light and color. "We've detected strange energy signatures emanating from the core, Doctor," Voss explained. "They're disrupting the city's natural rhythms, causing unpredictable growth patterns and structural instability." As they examined the core, Astra felt a familiar sensation tugging at her mind, similar to what she had experienced in the Void Zone. She closed her eyes, focusing on the energy, and soon realized that it was a quantum disturbance. "This isn't a natural phenomenon," she said, opening her eyes. "Someone is manipulating the quantum energy here." The team exchanged worried glances. They knew that their enemies could be anywhere, and that the stakes were always high. With Dr. Voss's help, they tracked the source of the disturbance to an underground facility hidden beneath the city's roots. Inside, they found a group of rogue bioengineers led by a man named Dr. Thane, a former colleague of Dr. Voss who had been corrupted by his desire for power. He had created a device that harnessed the city's quantum energy, intending to use it to reshape Biocity according to his own twisted vision. "You can't control this power, Thane, Dr. Voss pleaded, her voice filled with sorrow. "You'll destroy everything we've worked so hard to build." Thane sneered, his eyes cold and calculating. "You're a fool, Elysia. This city is just the beginning. With this power, I can create a new world order, one where I am in control." The Quantum Crusaders sprang into action, determined to stop Thane and save Biocity. Astra and Orion took on Thane directly, while the rest of the team worked to disable the device. As they fought, Astra felt the quantum energy surging around her, responding to her presence. She realized that she could use her abilities to counter Thane's control, disrupting his connection to the device. "Orion, cover me," she shouted, focusing her energy on the device. Orion nodded, deflecting Thane's attacks and giving Astra the time she needed. With a burst of energy, she sent a wave of quantum particles into the device, overloading its circuits and severing Thane's connection. The facility shook as the device malfunctioned, and Thane let out a furious roar. "No, this can't be happening." Astra stood firm, her eyes blazing with determination. "It's over, Thane. Your plan has failed." With a final surge of energy, the device exploded, sending a shockwave through the facility. The rogue bioengineers were captured, and Thane was taken into custody, his ambitions thwarted. Returning to the surface, the team was greeted with cheers and applause from the citizens of Biocity. "Doctor." Voss thanked him profusely, her gratitude evident in her eyes. "You've saved us all," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "I don't know how we can ever repay you." Orion smiled, clapping a hand on Astra's shoulder. "Just keep this city thriving, Doctor." "Voss, that's thanks enough for us." As they prepared to leave, Astra took a moment to reflect on their journey. She had faced incredible challenges, made lifelong friends, and discovered the true extent of her abilities. She knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but she was ready for whatever came next. Back in Nexus City, the team celebrated their success with a much-needed break. They laughed, shared stories, and reveled in the camaraderie that had grown between them. Astra felt a deep sense of belonging, knowing that she was part of something truly special. But their respite was short-lived. Q soon alerted them to a new threat, one that eclipsed everything they had faced before. An ancient entity, long thought to be a myth, had awakened from its slumber at the edge of the multiverse. This being, known as the Chronomancer, had the power to manipulate time itself, and its awakening threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality. "We don't have much time," Q said, its voice filled with urgency. "The Chronomancer's power is growing, and if left unchecked, it could rewrite the entire multiverse." Astra and her team knew that this was their greatest challenge yet. They prepared for the mission with a mix of determination and trepidation, aware that failure was not an option. Their journey took them to the outermost reaches of the multiverse, a place where time and space converged in a chaotic dance. The Chronomancer's lair was a fortress of swirling energy, its walls shifting and changing with every moment. As they approached, Astra felt the weight of time pressing down on her, each step a struggle against the temporal currents. But she pushed forward, her resolve unwavering. Inside the fortress, they confronted the Chronomancer, a being of immense power and ancient wisdom. Its form was constantly shifting, a swirling vortex of light and shadow. "Foolish mortals," the Chronomancer intoned, its voice echoing through the chamber. "You dare challenge me? I am the Master of Time, the Weaver of Destinies." Orion stepped forward, his eyes blazing with determination. "We're here to stop you. You can't be allowed to disrupt the balance of the multiverse." The Chronomancer laughed, a sound that resonated through the very fabric of reality. "You cannot comprehend my power. But I see potential in you, Astra Valen. You could join me, become my apprentice, and together we could reshape the multiverse as we see fit." Astra felt the pull of the Chronomancer's power, the temptation to embrace its offer. But she remembered her friends, her family, and the countless lives that depended on their success. "No," she said, her voice firm and resolute. "I won't join you. I fight for the multiverse, for all the lives you've threatened." The Chronomancer's expression darkened, and the chamber erupted in chaos. Temporal distortions twisted and warped the space around them, and the team fought desperately to hold their ground. Astra reached out with her quantum abilities, connecting with the Chronomancer's power. She could feel the ancient energy, the raw force of time itself, but she also sensed a weakness of vulnerability that she could exploit. "Keep it distracted," she shouted to her teammates, focusing her energy on the Chronomancer's core. Orion, Luna, Jax, and Mira fought with all their might, their combined efforts holding back the temporal distortions. Astra drew upon the strength of her friends, their unwavering support giving her the courage to push forward. With a final surge of energy, Astra unleashed a wave of quantum particles, disrupting the Chronomancer's control over time. The ancient being let out a howl of rage and pain, its form flickering and destabilizing. No, this cannot be, the chronomancer roared, its power unraveling. Astra pressed on, pouring every ounce of her strength into the attack. The chronomancer's fortress began to collapse, the temporal distortions fading as the ancient entity was consumed by its own power. As the dust settled, the team stood victorious, their bodies weary but their spirits unbroken. The chronomancer was defeated, its threat to the multiverse extinguished. Returning to Nexus City, the Quantum Crusaders were hailed as heroes once more. The citizens celebrated their triumph, and Astra felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had faced the greatest challenge of her life and emerged victorious, her bond with her friends stronger than ever. In the days that followed, Astra reflected on her journey. She had grown from a curious girl into a fearless leader, her experiences shaping her into a protector of the multiverse. She knew that there would always be new challenges, new threats to face, but she was ready. With the Quantum Crusaders by her side, Astra Valen stood at the heart of the quantum realm, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The multiverse was vast and full of wonder, and she was determined to explore it, defend it, and uncover its deepest mysteries. The adventure had just begun, and Astra Valen, the girl who had always felt out of place, had finally found where she belonged, in the heart of the quantum realm, defending the multiverse and embracing the endless possibilities that lay ahead. As the sun set over Nexus City, casting a warm glow over the towering skyscrapers, Astra stood with her friends, her heart filled with hope and determination. Together, they were the Quantum Crusaders, guardians of the multiverse, and their journey was far from over. With a final glance at the horizon, Astra smiled, ready to face whatever came next. The future was theirs to shape, and she knew that as long as they stood together, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. The Quantum Crusade had begun, and Astra Valen was ready for the adventure of a lifetime.